All right, welcome to the Lucky 13 podcast, where I am one of your hosts, Mike Lantz.
And I'm wired.
This is...
I can't believe this happened.
This might be the shortest episode in the history of the episodes we have out, because this is Josh Hauser.
Hi, I'm Josh, everybody. I'm the guy who doesn't look in his drinks.
I think we just discovered that his kids poisoned him.
Yeah, they gave me a Mickey of some sort. A pre-workout
Have you ever been roofied?
Mickey. No, I haven't. Not that I know of.
I'll tell. I have, but let's.
I can't wait for HR to tell me the roofie story. No, so I grabbed a water bottle, and this morning it was in. If you go to a sink, you got the clean dishes, you got the sink. I mean, the dirty dishes, the sink, and then the clean dishes. And the bottle was in the clean dish side. So I just grabbed it and threw some ice in, threw some water in, didn't think about it, and then just a little bit ago, I just chugged it before we started. And I started itching and tingling and like sweating, and I'm talking really fast if you can't notice. And like I'm all over the place. And then we looked in it, and what'd we see?
We think it's pre-workout.
I hope it's pre-workout, or my kids are going to have to pee in a cup for me. I'm telling you what, I can cut weight doing pre-workout. I just walk. There's so much room for activities in here. We can do all sorts of things.
And you talk fast anyway, and so I can just imagine this is gonna be like a 5-minute episode, and we're gonna be done.
Yeah. So if anybody happened to ever watch, which that's crazy if you do that, I am like tingling everywhere. So
if he's itching,
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I ain't got the.
If you know Josh, you know he's high wired anyway. So
I'm like wired. This is amazing. What are we gonna talk about? Let's go.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay,
and maybe are you if you were meeting with Scott, your boss, 12 months from now?
Yep.
Are you guys totally aligned on what he expected from you this year and what you knew he expected from you this year from a performance perspective?
Ooh, well, my answer is...
By the way, this is a conversation. The reason I'm bringing this up is this is a profit conversation.
Oh, it is.
We talk about all things people and profit. It's going to feel like it's more people side, but it's really about profit. Because what I've been finding as I've been out with some of our clients in the past couple of weeks and some of our True You members is that the employees of some of these companies don't know what's expected of them. And if we don't help people understand what's expected of each employee, then we are surefire going to miss our targets.
Yes.
And we're not going to be as profitable as we want.
So I'm thankful that I can answer this way, and I'm going to answer it in 3 quick ways because I'm wired. One is yes. That's the quickest answer. Yes. I know when I'm sitting in Scott's office 1 year from today that the second part of that is objectively, I can tell you if I was successful or not successful for the company. And the third thing is objectively, I can tell you what are the 5 core things I did to do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's 3 answers. Yes, objectively through a number, and then objectively through the 5 core things that I do for the company to use your term, create a profit.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So what I'd like to talk a little bit about today is how we as business leaders can put a process into place to make sure that everybody in our organization knows exactly what play they've got to go run and the importance of their participation.
Oh, my gosh.
We talk a lot about sports and stuff. So, we could take the greatest football team on the earth with the greatest quarterback, but if the wide receiver runs the wrong route every single time, then we're not going to win.
Yeah.
And so we've got to make sure as business leaders that everybody on our team knows the play we need them to run for them to be constructive part and a successful part of the team.
100%. It's funny you said that. As soon as it popped in my head, and I'm working on being open, so I wanted to hear you all the way through, there's a Netflix special on the Redeem Team, and they took the best basketball players on the planet and didn't have any core structure to what everybody's core roles were and what they were going to do. And our USA basketball team, who is the best team in the world, lost multiple years. And it took one coach and one player to come in and set the guidelines of this is what you do, this is what you do, and this is what success means. Not to you, but to us, but this is your role in it. And now we celebrate the Redeem Team, which is obviously a spinoff of the Dream Team.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons why what's so important also is that we build a team that all bring different talents, strengths, and things like that to the table, or are willing to play those even though they have other strengths. So, for example, I think about the Bulls, right? Yeah. Scottie Pippen could score.
Yep.
But he knew his role on the Bulls.
Point forward and guard the ball.
Right. Compare that to Kobe and Shaq. They won
Yeah.
But they could have won a lot more
Oh, yeah.
had they said, hey, this is your role and this is my role. But they were a couple of stars.
Yeah.
Both trying to be stars.
Yeah, when the newspaper is the most important thing, you're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
When the score sheet, the win-loss column is the most important thing, then I understand what I play on that. And I love that you call about the unique abilities. I love football analogies with that. There's a reason why linemen go to their own room when they break off of a practice, right? And the receivers go to their own room, and the tight ends go to their own room, and the quarterbacks go, and then kickers go do whatever kickers do. Yeah. But can you imagine if they went all off into their own room and that there was nobody who was clear in that room and clear what everybody else is doing in those rooms?
That's right.
Of how it all fits together. I call that the Chicago Bears. But right now, there's teams in the playoffs because they are excellent at that. Right. We all talk about the amazing players, but the reality is we don't know half the players on that team. There's somebody who has every single person understanding, I block on this play because of.
Yeah.
And I throw this ball here because of. And if you tie that to business, what if every single person on the team knew there's no one role more important than anybody else's, but I know what success means in my world and how that contributes to the overall success.
Yeah. So we need to make sure that the assignments that we've given to all of our team members, from the very front lines all the way to the C-suite, we need to make sure that that what we're asking them to go do and how they're asking them to do it collectively will result in the results that we want. The results in a lot of different ways: the quality results, the customer acquisition results, the financial results, the cultural results. All of those types of things all have to, as a sum, come together and achieve what we put on a strategic business plan or on our VTO, right?
Correct. Yeah, we did a nerdy exercise here recently where we passed out a 1,000-piece puzzle to 4 different teams in sections. And the conversation was, if one piece of that puzzle doesn't go in, then we don't have our full picture. Mm-hmm. And every one of those pieces were a little bit different, had a little bit different color, but they all had a rule and a reg that they had to go together. And when you put all that together, you get a picture. One of those pieces out of line or two, and the next thing you know, you're all out of whack. And I love that you said, and I love the word crystallization. When you have that assignment crystallize, first of all, what's the objective measure to that assignment? What success looks like on will sets and skill sets, and then tie it to the greater good of the organization at the end. Because if you do this, you might not notice, or somebody else might not notice, but as a whole, we notice that getting done. Nobody ever talks about the holder on an extra point.
No, they don't.
It's kind of a big deal.
But they can screw it up
in a hurry.
A lot. So this is hard work. And sometimes as CEOs and visionaries and things like that, we want to just go cast the vision, maybe even be a big contributor to what the strategic plan is going to be. And we roll the strategic plan out to our teams, but they're like, yeah, like that, let's go do that. But then they go back to their desk and they aren't clear of how they can contribute to it. So I have a tool.
Oh, okay? I want to hear this.
We want to use this. So this tool is called a success profile. This is a lot different than a job description.
All right, walk me through.
But this is really meant for internal use inside the organization. And my view is every single person in an organization should have their own individual success profile. Now, it's possible if you have 20 BDRs that the success profile for those 20 BDRs may be the exact same.
Sure.
But every role should have a success profile. And it really answers 3 questions. Okay. And question number, and I'm gonna go through all this,
Please.
And the listeners are gonna go, that sounds like a crap ton of work. I'm already into January. Do I really need to do it? I'm gonna go through this, and then I'm gonna give the cheat code on how to go get this done quickly in an organization. So number 1 that it answers is, in that role, what do we expect? Like, what is the job? I want to put it that way better. What do I want you to go do? So this looks a little bit like a job description, but I don't want the 10 things. I want the 5 to 7 max.
5 to 7.
Because likely there's 25 things that Scott wants you to do here.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, in a year, if you haven't done these 5, then we're talking about
the
job security, right?
Yeah.
So these are the things that are most important. Leaders typically do a poor job, not intentionally, but they do a poor job of prioritizing for an employee which of the 20 things are the 5 most important. And if we're not helping them prioritize, they're bound to go do the wrong ones.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how many times did that lead to me doing 10 things amazing, but they weren't the 5 that they're most important?
Absolutely.
And so I think I've done a great job, and I've actually not benefited the corporation or organization.
Yeah. So what do I want? What is the job?
Got it.
Okay. The top 5 to 7 things, prioritize, less is more. The second thing is how I want you to do it. And I think that's really, really important. And, define this through competencies or behaviors or whatever it is. But I might say to you, hey, I want you to go get X number of clients under retainer to manage their money.
Sure.
But if you do it in such a way that doesn't align up with how we do business, then that's not a success. So you could come back and say, I got 100 new clients. Yeah, but if you did it by strong arming a bunch of old people who, and promising them things,
the SEC will come and see you.
The SEC is going to come see you. So it could be illegal, or it could just be outside of what our core values are. Right?
Okay, so let me clarify that. Although you're going to assign me a number, you're going to walk me through the experience to get to that number, the way that we do it, the way that represents our brand.
That's right.
I don't mind you wearing your name on your shirt. I'm not going to put tape over that shirt when you go to do it that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, got it.
100%. So first is what I need you to do. Second is how I want you to do it and being very specific. And then the third, you all right?
Yeah, I'm shaking the table.
The third is what are the outcomes? How am I going to measure it? And what are on the how, it's still only like 5 to 7 things,
sure,
right? And then the outcomes is 3 to 5 things that I'm going to measure your performance. And these are numbers typically.
Love it.
Right? And you can create a number really around anything. What I can't remember the book that was about. Maybe it was one of Gino's books where they talk about everybody's got a number.
That's the attraction.
Yeah, the receptionist. What's her number?
Yep.
Number of rings.
Correct.
Have to answer the phone off the second ring,
Simple.
right? But we can put a number to everything. But then how am I going to measure your performance?
Oh, you just made me think a team exercise. How fun would it be to have everybody get a white T-shirt one day, write your number on it, and walk around for the day. And by the end of the day, know what everybody's number and what it means to the organization, which means to you.
Yeah.
And then now you're portraying ownership. I love that you drove that down to outcomes, because if you don't have clear outcomes, my judgment of good and your judgment of good are going to be different.
Right. So what do I want you to do? How do I want you to do it? And how am I going to measure your performance? And every person should have that. It should be one-page document. And everybody should have it and should be sitting on their iPad or sitting on their desk, better yet, printed out, where everybody really knows it. And this is the framework for how you can do a one-to-one also, or at least one part of the one-to-one.
Sure.
You don't want all one-to-ones to be all about, every week we're talking about the measurements.
Yeah.
But if I want to help you, I want to help you in what I've asked you to do, how I've asked you to do it, so that you can get this result. And so this is a easy way to have a framework then about performance.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking of, that measurement number might be off, and that's what we're talking about every week, but there might be a how opportunity for us to go into.
Yeah.
It might be in a skill set, or it might be a will set. Let's find out, right?
Yeah.
Or you're getting the number, but I'm finding out that the experience our clients are having is not there, and so it's an opportunity for us to look at. But what I heard you allude to, and we've talked about this before, this isn't a once-a-year conversation. You just alluded to that. This should be an opportunity to discuss any of these three, if not all of these three, at any given moment, because it's clear.
All the time. Yeah, because that's how I'm going to coach you. And if we, at the beginning of the year, if we both buy in that this is the expectations of your contribution to this business this year, and I'm going to pay you well to contribute in this way, then it's my job as your leader to, one, hold you accountable because I care about you, okay? And I want you to see you be successful here. But number two, I understand probably on the what I want you to do and especially the how I want you to do that you're not an expert yet.
Yeah.
So if I can help you be that, that's what I want to be as your leader.
I'm hearing this so clearly, Mike. I live by this credo: reach, teach, eliminate. Let's reach an agreement and reach where I'm going to reach you to your unique ability. When we're falling or failing, my job is to help teach you. And then together we will eliminate the obstacles or excuses that are keeping us from getting there. And by having this document in there, I have a reason to reach, teach on the regular, and then I get to look for those elimination opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. So the walk away from my view, because I'm guessing there's a lot of people listening to this who are like, I haven't done that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe your co-host.
So here's the fast way to get to it. Step one, send an email out or have a company meeting, pull everybody together, like just, grab everybody out of the hallways, whatever, have them all come in and say, I would like all of you to take a swing at what your success profile is. I want you to go write down the 5 to 7 things that are the what of your job, the 5 to 7 things that are the how, and then the 3 to 5 things of what you think we expect from you, and see what comes back to you. Give them 2 days to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I jump in here?
Yeah.
What an awesome experience for them to tell you what they're seeing rather than you force it down their face.
That's right. And what you're going to find is there is a lot of disconnect.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? And you're going to find BDR1 who has one real view of the job, and BDR2 has a totally different view of the job. And you wonder why we don't have consistent results in the way that we handle the BDR position, as an example.
Oh, great. That's a great example.
So that feedback comes back, and then you're able to say, if we have 17 BDRs, I can go and see the difference, and I can craft, you can craft, or the head of the BDRs can craft the perfect success profile for all 17 of them. I've now just fixed a few problems. One, I've created a process, okay, so that I know that everybody is doing the same what and the same how and chasing the same outcomes. And now I don't have to coach 17 people individually. I'm going to have the conversations with them individually, but it's really kind of, rinse, wash, and repeat type thing. I've tailored it to how to make this job more successful.
Yeah, and now one of the things I think most companies struggle with, especially as it pertains to people and profit, is that other P, which is predictability. How can you have predictability without everybody knowing exactly what predictable outcome is?
Yes. We also have to understand that I firmly believe that everybody wants to show up for work and do a really great job at their job.
I agree with that.
I firmly believe that. I assume positive intent in everything that people do, and we have to believe that they want that. And so if we can give them a guide that will help them be successful and will help them do a really great job for the company, I think our team members want that as well.
Agree. Yeah. I agree. And I mean, I love the optimism, because I would think that our selectivity would only bring people in that want to do that. But if I got somebody run as fast as they can, they're running the wrong way, is that their fault or our fault?
Yeah.
That's a great question to ask yourself. How did I select somebody and have them running the wrong way or running the wrong things? Let's discover this together. And that's what I've heard you say in a couple instances here.
So the last thing as we close up, once you've created this for the job, now when you're in an interview with somebody, certainly not the first one probably, but a second or third interview, you can slide this document across and say, this is, you're going to live by this. This is what we expect of you. And there's going to be some people that will self-select out. Thank you. Because they're like, I don't believe that I can do that job.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. We've just avoided a bad hire or something like that.
Yeah,
but
and you
now
help their life too.
Yeah. Now you're crystal clear on everything. And then as the business leader, you're looking at it and you're going, okay, if everybody executed in this way, do I still feel confident in the plan I've built?
How many people talk about, I didn't get a 90-day review or 180-day review and 360-day review? I actually got my review before I started. I knew what my review was going to be at 90, at 180. There was no ambiguity. Right. I knew exactly what it was. And I also knew I had resources to work on it. Not to mention there were going to be, I'm going to use your term a little bit ago, those little checkpoints and touch points just along the way. And it could be the how, it could be the what, or it could just be the outcome.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So,
where do I get this tool? Where do I get this tool, by the way?
Yeah, we'll post it out on the website, on the Lucky 13 website. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. Mike Lantz, Lantz. We'll send it to you, but we've got it. It's a simple tool, and we can send a editable document so that people can have it.
Awesome. And I know we always do action items. That's going to be mine. I'm going to be, go get that tool. Yeah. Just go get it. And you know what? Do it on yourself. See if you're actually answering to yourself.
Sure. Yeah. And for everybody listening, first step today, tomorrow, the next day, get your team together, ask them to go create their own. It'll be, I think, really eye-opening and might just show you why you've been getting inconsistent results and why you haven't been hitting the profit numbers you really want.
Can I challenge us? Can we have a follow-up to this and say, hey, I'm going to do this myself?
Perfect.
I'm going to ask if any of our listeners do that, reach out and give us some of the feedback, because I'd love to hear, what did you discover when you actually went through the process? And I can't wait to do this. I really can't wait to do this. By the way, I can't wait to do this with my kids too.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the expectations are as it pertains to cleanliness of a room?
Yeah.
And let's see if we're on the same page there. That might explain why somebody gets grounded on the regular.
Yeah, for sure. Good. Awesome. Great chat.
Good
Thanks,
stuff,
man.